I would like to begin by thanking the organizer of the Symposium and the University for their hospitality and for creating such an important space for a dialogue and exchange. It is a privilege to present this work in a context that encourages meaningful encounters between interreligious research and creative practice. The research initiated by Professor Spallino from the University of Palermo led to the conception and design by her and myself of the video installation Light from Light. This video installation explored the interaction between Eastern Orthodox Christianity and Islam, focusing on light as both a theological symbol and a live experience of divine illumination. The project emerged from a comparative investigation carried out in Sicily and Calabria between the 6th and 12th centuries, regions that, over time, witnessed coexistence between Christian and Islamic communities, generating a fertile ground for spiritual and cultural exchange. The installation is grounded in this historical context and seeks to explore how both tradition articulates the experience of divine light through ritual, rhythmic, repetition, and embodied practice. Light functions here not merely as a metaphor, but as an archetype shared by both religious systems. For Eastern Orthodox Christianity, divine light is understood as uncreated light, experienced through continuous prayer, silence, and inner attention. In Islamic tradition, light represents the grace of God, a presence that illuminated and inscribed itself within the soul of the believer. Despite doctrinal difference, both traditions understand illumination as something accessed through disciplined practice rather than abstract belief. The research behind the installation brings together ritual anthropology, aesthetic theory, and the study of sacred gesture and images. In both traditions, ritual is not conceived as a purely symbolic act, but as a shared aesthetic experience involving voice, breath, movement, and bodily repetition. Codified words and gesture orient the practitioner toward the divine, generating process of purification and interior transformation. Ritual tools become a path of internalization where every gesture and every word carries ontological weighting. The installation unfolded across 6 synchronized screens, each dedicated to as ascetic doctrine or ritual practice shared by both traditions. The call to pray, hesychasm, dhikr, and prostration. Their 6 frames are presented in parallel sequence, structured through rhythm and repetition in order to reveal both resonance and divergences in how divine light is approached.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله الله أكبر الله أكبر
Kyrie Iisu Christe, Iesu Teu eleisone. Kyrie Iisu Christe, Iesu Teu eleisone. Signore Gesù Cristo, Figlio di Dio, pietà di me. Signore Gesù Cristo, Figlio di Dio, pietà di me. Signore Gesù Cristo, Figlio di Dio, pietà di me. Gospode Isuse Hriste, Sine Božji, pomiluj me grešnu. Gospode Isuse Hriste, Sine Božji, pomiluj me grešnu. Gospode Isuse Hriste, Sine Božji, pomiluj me grešnu.
لا إله إلا الله 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 أستغفر 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 الله
The first and the second frames focus on the call to pray. In Eastern Orthodox Christianity, the Tantalon marks the moment when the faithful are summoned to prayer, while in Islam, the Adhan fulfill a similar function. In both cases, sound structure, sacred time, regulates the rhythm of daily life and opens a sonic space oriented toward purification and divine presence. Sound becomes a spatial and temporal threshold through which the sacred is entered. The third frame is dedicated on prostration, a gesture common to both traditions. Prostration embodies humility, repentance and reckoning of human smallness before the divine. In Islam, is represent the closest physical proximity a human being can attain to God. In Eastern Orthodox Christianity, it is an act of total abandonment and a request for grace. In both traditions, prostration functions as a corporeal act of purification, where the body becomes a site of submission and transformation. The fifth and the sixth frame focus on hesychasm, an ascetic practice in Eastern Orthodox Christianity centered on the prayer of the heart, often condensed into the monological invocation Kyrie eleison. This invocation expresses both faith and humility before God and is not meant to be imaginative or conceptual. 6. To experience the uncreated light directly within the heart. In this tradition, light is identified with Christ himself, dwelling in the inner core of the human being. Hesychasm engages the entire person, mind, body, and breath. The repetition of the prayer is coordinated with breathing and posture, training perception toward divine illumination. The prayer unfolds in three stages: vocal recitation, mental attention, and participation of the heart, until it becomes a stable state of the intellect that dissolves world in truth. Repetition here is not mechanical, but transformation. A central material instrument is the practice is the kombuskini, the Orthodox prayer rope used the count invocation and prostration. Usually woven from wool, it has a fixed number or not, 33, 50, 100 or more, and serve primarily as a guide for internal concentration. Through the kombuskini breath, rhythmic, gesture, and repetition are synchronized, allowing prayer to become an embodied experience of divine illumination. The sixth frame explores dhikr, a core practice of Islamic spirituality based on the repetitive invocation of God's name and the remembrance of divine presence. Dhikr often includes the shahōda, the testimony of faith, repeated incessantly in order to purify the heart and prepare it to receive divine grace. In Islamic thought, the heart is understood as a table upon which God's grace inscribes the law of the Spirit. Through the dhikr, light gradually imprints itself upon the soul. Dhikr, like hesychasm, involves breath, movement, and vocalization, transforming remembrance into a state of presence. The material instrument that structure this practice is the masbah, composed of 99 beads corresponding to the name of God. Through touch and rhythm, the tashbih organizes repetition and spiritual attention. While it instruments individual prayer, it also carries symbolic and spiritual power. When associated with the saint, it is believed to transmit barakah, a blessed divine influence. For this reason, the tashbih is treated with reverence and is considered full of light and capable of transmitting blessing. Through this parallel practice, the installation revivals a shared logic, repetition as transformation, the body as a vehicle of spiritual knowledge, and the light as the outcome of disciplined, embodied ritual. Difference such as the fixed no of the kombuskini and the 99 beats of the tashib, or the monological interior of hesychasm and the rhythmic remembrance of dhikr, do not separate this tradition, but articulate distinct pathways toward the same aspiration, proximity to the divine. Light from Light Ultimate offers a visual and sensory experience of spiritual closeness. Through light, repetition, and embodied ritual, the installation opens a space for imagining interreligion and cover beyond discourse or root in shared practice, perceptual experience, and the silent language of the body. Thank you for attention.